Yes, we're back. We're back again in X-Plane. We're back somewhere special this time. A place where I'm actually physically going to be on the 5th of October. Yes, we're here at RAF Cosford, the home of the FlightSim Show once again. And a couple of years ago, I actually parked under the wing of the Hercules that's there. So the FlightSim Show is actually going to be held in this hangar here, hangar number 1. And yes, I'll be there along with a few people from my Discord community on the 5th of October. So I thought, what better thing to do? I was going to fly into here, but thought, well, no, I'd fly out of here and then make my way back towards home. A rather nice area it is too up here. What better plane to do it in then? In the 172, and it will be a bonus to arrive alive. Let's go home from the FlightSim Show, even though the FlightSim Show isn't on yet. That's not confusing at all. Grab that guidebook to the FlightSim Show and let's go. So hi there, Steve here, and yes, welcome to RAF Cosford. So here we are in the little nav map. Let me click on myself. So RAF Cosford up here, the other side of Wolverhampton, the home of the FlightSim Show in 2019 and the last couple of years, held in Hangar 1, which is the one we're sat opposite. And I'm going to be flying home. I was going to do the inward journey, but thought I'd start here so we can have a little talk about it and look around first rather than just land here. So flying home from here, down across the Cotswolds, down pretty much over Swindon, where I live, and flying into RAF Lyneham, where the Hercules was based back in the day. So I used to fly over the town quite a lot. Although we've got a glide slope here, there was no approach that I could do, so we're going to use that as a reference point and then make our way across. So that's the plan for the journey today. Thought I'd do it in a little 172. And then when we're in the cruise, talk about the FlightSim Show a little bit more. So let's jump in the plane. I've set a destination of that waypoint in the G1000. Let's start her up. Lights are already on because, you know, it's me. So we are pretty much ready to go. We just turn my panel on and set our altitude at a nice 2,000 feet. There we go. While the plane's warming up, then we'll have a look outside and get the free camera. So yes, the home of the FlightSim Show this year, and you can see it's aerial photography that's being used because there is a plane there. The Hercules is actually there, although they've got it 3D modelled here. That's the one of the hangars with the sloping roof thing going on. So that's sort of modelled fairly well. Obviously this is the actual base itself. So the FlightSim Show is held in this hangar here, hangar number 1, and the actual museum part then goes off up around into these hangars up here with some static displays you can see there, and the rather nice cafe up there, and parking here and everywhere, and the road in being down here, and the train station being all the way down there. So a few of us from the Discord server coming by train. I won't be, I'll be driving. So a nice little walk down the lane here on the morning of the show, and a lovely looking area it is too. So we've got a couple of grass strips from here, but we will make our way around the taxiway to the runway around there and head off and head home. So yeah, really looking forward to that. 5th of October, up at the FlightSim Show. Going to be there most of the day on the Saturday, and then a couple of us staying overnight locally on the Saturday night before coming home on the Sunday. So really looking forward to having a good find out from what's coming up from X-Plane. Really looking forward to the Honeycomb announcement. Hopefully they'll mention when their throttle quadrants are going to be released. and whatever else is going to be going on at the show. It's going to be awesome. But let us leave Cosford now and make our way homewards. I was going to put this trip out after the FlightSim show, and I know I could have done it on a route in to the show, but yeah, I really wanted to start here and then do the flight back instead of the flight there. So it's my third year in a row that I've been to the show, and looking forward to it. It's obviously so popular this year that they've got it over 2 days, where it's been over 1 before. So it does show that flight simming is becoming more and more popular, and I've gained a lot more interest in it since last year's show. So the first year it was almost used just as a meetup for a few of us in the Discord community. Last year I had a little bit of interest in it, but again was more for meeting some of the guys and looking to see what was around. And it was pretty much after the show last year that I started to get heavily into X-Plane and flight in general. And yeah, it's been an awesome journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for X-Plane. There's going to be some more talk about 11.40 at the show from X-Plane themselves. Interested to see what Just Flight have got to say, as well as, yeah, Honeycomb is the hardware manufacturer I'm looking forward to. I've seen details on the yoke that they're releasing, but it's throttle quadrant that I'm really looking forward to. So that will be entering my setup when it's released, probably in 2020. Let's make our way round onto the runway then. And then head home. So we'll do a rolling start. There we go, as we turn and make our way down towards that waypoint, leaving Cosford behind. So obviously flying this in Orbex True Earth, which does look absolutely stunning. Obviously the look around Cosford then goes to show how awesome this looks. It's going to be flying along at 2,000 feet. Hopefully keep us below those clouds. We've got real world weather turned on, as I said, thanks to Active Sky, so we could be in for some interesting conditions, because currently, as I'm recording this, it's not very nice here in Swindon, where we'll be flying over. It's a bit rainy and a bit miserable, so it'll be interesting to see when we get here what the weather is actually like. Alright, so 2,000 feet, leveled off now. So 66 miles from our destination, which should come up in no time at all. So currently flying over Pattingham. Never heard of it, that place down there. And then our main places of interest are going to be Wombourne, flying pretty close to Stourbridge and Hagley, outskirts of Bromsgrove, Droitwich, and then down through near Evesham, obviously Winchcombe, and then down past Fairford, so over RAF Fairford, down to the outskirts of Swindon. We'll turn across Swindon, so I'll probably turn a little bit earlier than that waypoint onto heading mode, so we'll be coming in on runway 24. So I'll probably turn a little bit sooner, so probably turn here and then line ourselves up on 241. In fact, I can almost put that in the there we go, put that in there now. So that's our route, and the awesome active sky. So it is a lovely, although I live, well, obviously I fly over where I live, it is a lovely part of the world down here, and made even better, I think, by True Earth. They've done a fantastic job. I think I shall end up for sure with Washington. Hopefully it'll be cheaper at the show. It'll be quite nice if it is. So this is half an hour to go to our waypoint, so a nice little flight back. So the level of detail in True Earth is just, look at it, stunning. So that's Birmingham over there now. So we've got Stourbridge here and Craigley Heath. Sort of Wolverhampton way, not Birmingham. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. So here's details then of the FlightSim Show. So recording this a little bit in advance, as you can see. So 26 days to go from when I'm recording this. So the 5th and 6th of October, Hangar 1, which is the one where we're parked in front of, RAF Museum, Cosford. And it's going to be great. So Just Flight are there, Orbex are there, Aerosoft are going to be there again. Never heard of Irregular Corporation. Obviously X-Plane 11, Infinite Flight, FS Reborn, a few virtual airlines and stuff are going to be there. So Chili Blast, obviously PC makers, Alpine Flight Systems, Honeycomb, that's the one that I'm really interested in going to look at. PC Pilot are going to be there. Who else have we got that's going to be interesting? FlightSim, I don't think I'm that good. And the schedule for the day, obviously doors open at 9:30 in the morning. Orbex are giving a chat at 12 o'clock, that could be interesting. Just Flight's one's going to be interesting. The main one for me is going to be Laminar, between 3:30 and 4:30, so that's X-Plane. So latest news for X-Plane 11, it's Evolution. I'll look at 11:40 update, and it's a bargain. £10 if you order it in advance, and you get a free little gift bag as you enter as well, normally with a copy of PC Pilot in it. And yeah, the last couple of years have been fantastic, really enjoyable, and it's all based around Hangar 1. So where the stands and things are, the planes are there as well. So it's a really, really great show. The whole FlightSim show is in Hangar 1, but all you got to do is pay the parking as well, and you get access to the rest of the museum. And Cosford Museum is really well worth a look around. It is fantastic. So really looking forward to that, 5th of October. I shall be there along with so far 7 other people as I record this from my Discord community, some of which have been on some of the multiplayer flight streams with me. Captain Chaos is attending, Sam is attending, Dory is attending, I think James is attending as well as Mr. Gazariah, who's recently only just started joining us in flight sims, and a couple of others. Tux McBee is going to be there as well. So if you watch any of my flight sims, you want to meet any of the motley crew, myself included, then we will be there. We've got a meetup section in my Discord server. So if you're watching this and are attending and fancy meeting up to say hello, then yeah, do please join the Discord and let us know if you're attending, because it'd be great to meet up with a few of you and see what sort of flight simming you're into. Right, so we're going past Kidderminster now, Bromsgrove coming up, and then flying over Droitwich. Yeah, just look at the level of detail in True Earth. It's not just a case of they've used, aerial photography. Is you've got these 3D buildings where there are buildings, just to add that extra sense of realism. It does look absolutely stunning. I don't get bored of flight sim. I don't get bored of X-Plane. I certainly don't get bored with True Earth. There's a reservoir or something down there. Look, where's that? Where's that? Where's that on the map? Here, Upton Warren. So an airport coming up on our right soon, Droitwich. Who knew that Droitwich had an airport? Well, apart from people that fly from Droitwich Airport. Okay, it should be down here. There, grass strip, look, there it is. Sort of thing that Chris Brown would make us land on if he was with us. That's the M5, looks like, snaking its way south. Which it is. So we're on a direct course down towards the Midlands. Get back inside. But yeah, True Earth is absolutely stunning. How many hours have I got in this thing now? 73 hours in a little 172. And this is also a plane I just never get bored with. I quite like flying the steam gauges version, but the first plane that I flew properly in X-plane actually got me from A to B. Was this. Longest flight I did was from San Diego to Sandpoint, Idaho, that I did in this, and then jumped in the Quest Kodiak, and then flew the Quest Kodiak from Sandpoint, Idaho, all the way back to the UK, and that took a while. Up through Canada, across to Greenland, Iceland, Faroe Islands, down into Scotland, and down to Kemble, as I picked for my home airport in X-plane. And it went a little bit faster than this. I was doing about 160 knots, the Kodiak, so I had a little bit of edge, the edge on this, but again, it was just a nice place to be. I could quite happily sit in this with this sort of scenery. I could quite happily sit in this for hours, just watching the world go by. So we've got Worcester over to our right somewhere, over there. There we go. So there's Worcester. And the next town coming up then is going to be Evesham. That should be down here on our left, place where I've spent a little bit of time. Oh, and in comes the rain. So yeah, I'm expecting it to get a bit more. Actually, can't really see any blue sky out the window here, but it's not going to be great by the time I get to Swindon, if the weather stands true, of course. So RAF Lyneham isn't really an active base anymore. The Hercules used to be based there, so I was always hearing Hercs flying in and out and around. I don't think anything's based out of there anymore now. I think it's a school or training school of some sort. The RAF still use it. It's not far from RAF Rawton, which is where the Science Museum have got a facility. If I come on down here. So there's Lyneham, where we're going to be flying into, so not active currently, and there's Rawton, so RAF Rawton, and that is where the Ebola drone, if you're a fan of the Grand Tour, that's where their track was around RAF Rawton, so not far from Swindon. And not far from here as well is RAF Fairford, where the air show is. And then we've got Bryce Norton, which is the US base. So quite a bit going on around here. And obviously if you're not from the UK, then there's London. So Gatwick is there. So we're not far away from Gatwick. and then you've got Bristol here. So quite a busy bit of the UK as far as airports and airstrips are concerned, but also a very nice part of the UK up in what's called the Cotswolds. So a lot of tourists in this area taking pictures of all the old buildings. And if you've played Forza Horizon 4, another gaming link, then somewhere around here, if I can find Evesham, is a town called Broadway. There it is. There's Broadway. That's actually featured in Forza Horizon 4. So based in the Cotswolds. So there we go. Fun fact. And there's Evesham. Down there. Yeah, weather's certainly looking a bit well, damp is the word. Still doesn't get away from how nice True Earth looks though. So yeah, currently south of Evesham now. Oh god, drag it in. So there's Evesham. So south of Evesham, heading towards Winchcombe. And then you've got Gloucester Airport over here. And then be heading down towards Fairford and Kemble. And then, as I said, when we get in line, so probably there, we'll be in line for the ILS, which is why so I hear the planes coming in over Swindon as they used to on approaching. And Concorde used to fly close to here as well, and Concorde used to go out from Heathrow out across the Bristol Channel. We used to go out back in the day to go out here. Concorde obviously couldn't go supersonic until it got out over the sea, but you could certainly hear it, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, around there, roughly where the Honda factory is, which is there, is when I'll turn onto runway heading. So keep going till we get to Honda. Is the answer. Yeah, I did think about doing this flight the other way round and doing it from Lyneham up to Cosford, but thought it'd be nicer coming this way. Heading back south. If you're into FlightSim, don't forget to check out the Discord server. I'll put a link in the description below, of course. It's a growing Discord community based around flight. It's becoming a big part of my simming, and really enjoying it. I like the technical aspect to it. When flying some of the big jets. Well, I'm not completely up to speed yet on the programming the flight management computers, etc. It's really nice for me flying a variety of aircraft, from the awesome little 172 that we've got here, all the way up to the biggest plane that I've currently got that I fly is the DC-8. So a bit of a difference in size. I haven't flown anything bigger than that yet. I think eventually I will end up with a Dreamliner, yeah, something of that size, which would be pretty cool. And then we'll be covering some longer journeys, but waiting to see what deals there are at the FlightSim Show. What the next 12 months are going to bring. We've currently got a couple of adventures going on, so if you are into flying, you're looking for a community to fly with, we've currently got a couple of different journeys going on around the world. As I record this, we've got one going on down in South Africa, so we're currently on a round the world trip, about to head across up to Pretoria, so from Durban across to Madagascar. Madagascar, we're going to go back up to Somalia, up through to Dubai, across northern India, back down through Vietnam, Singapore, down to Western Australia, all the way across Australia to Brisbane and Sydney, and then across to New Zealand, back up here, back up through to Manila, a bit of North Korea, because why not, into Japan, up into Russia, across the Bering Straits, back down through Alaska, and then back down to the west coast of America, finishing up at San Diego. So that's going to take a while. It's taken us, as I record this, 9 months to get from the UK down to South Africa, because you're only doing one leg a week, so it's taking a while. The other journey we've got going on currently is we're in the Bahamas, so in this sort of plane, doing a lot of island hopping around the Bahamas, where we'll end up then in South America, and then we're going to come down South America, down to the Falkland Islands, and back up the west coast of South America, back up through Peru. It's going to be interesting airstrips around there, up through Mexico, and then back to San Diego. We've already done an across America trip in sort of prop aircraft. That was great fun. And on a Saturday night, a couple of us now are getting together. We started in, or just south of New York actually. We've flown up to New York, and we're making our way now up through Canada. We're going to be coming up to Hudson Bay soon, which has probably already been out by the time I record this. And we're going to try and get up to the Arctic Circle, and then maybe back across to Russia, and then it'd be nice to go from backwards across Russia, back to the UK, so back down through Scandinavia, because we sort of skipped Scandinavia. So 3 sort of round the world trips that we've got going on in the community. We get together a couple of times a week to do those trips. The South African adventure generally carries on a Saturday afternoon, because of the time. It's going to be nice and light. The Bahamas are generally on a Wednesday evening, and the Canadian trip is on a Saturday night. So if you're interested in joining us on any of those trips, whether you're a novice that can just handle flying the 172, then the Bahamas is perfect. If you're into your jets and something a little bit quicker, then Canada or South Africa. Although we do use fast props and things as well. I've got things like the Saab 340, I've got the Fokker 50, so sort of larger prop aircraft. So a whole mixture of aircraft we fly on a mixture of routes in a variety of countries. So it's not all about just solo flying. It's about being part of an awesome community, which we have got, which is why we're all meeting up at the FlightSim Show. See, that's come round full circle there. So we passed Port on the Water now. We're coming down through North Leach. Port on the Water was back up there. So heading down towards where Fairford and Bryce Norton are. Certainly a lot quicker to fly it than it is to drive it. When I drive from Swindon up to the FlightSim Show, it can take about 2.5 hours. So a lot quicker by plane. Weather so far, yeah, a little bit overcast, but the sky isn't that blue here. Not that I can see out of my gaming room window anyway. Yeah, True Earth certainly doesn't disappoint. That town coming up down there. That's Fairford. So we're getting closer. Which is good, because otherwise you'll be getting further away. So you can see why it's such a nice bit of the country. Quite fortunate to be living this close to the countryside. There we go, we can see RAF Fairford now in front of us. So we'll fly directly over it, which means Bryce Norton is off to our left, I think over there. And then we've got RAF Kemble off to our right, I think is over there, which is my home base in X-Plane. We decided to fly into Lyneham today because I wanted to fly over Swindon. So here we come up on RAF Fairford. So I think we've got Swindon in the distance. Yeah, that's Fairford. Some new houses being built down there, look. And here's the base itself. So that's where the air show is held each year. Right, so now coming up on the outskirts of Swindon. Actually back the throttle off a little bit then, slow ourselves down. And I'll descend about 1,500 feet. A few of these solar farms cropping up everywhere now. Another one there. Sort of thing you only really see from the air. You don't see them from the ground. Oh, cool. I'm recognising the roads. It is really impressive. Right, it's nearly at a point now where I've got to turn. So this is the Honda factory over here. They soon to be closing Honda factory. Built the old Vickers site, so the old runway is there. Obviously what Honda now use to test the cars. Yeah, so there's the runway and the test track. All the cars parked up. So yes, there soon to be ex Honda factory. Right, I'm now going to go to heading mode and make a turn. Across the town. Police headquarters down here. I'm not quite buzzing my house. It's over here somewhere. Try and get my landmarks. Actually about there. In there somewhere. I can't actually see the row of houses where I live. That's quite impressive, True Earth. So train station is here. So somewhere we passed through in Train Sim. There's Swindon Station. And then out to the west of the town. And out towards our destination, which should be in front of us. So crossing the motorway, crossing Royal Wootton Bassett as it's called now. And then somewhere in front of us should be our runway. And there it is. So yeah, whole town pretty well modelled. So here's Royal Wootton Bassett. Our runway. There's actually a cottage that I went to once. It was a customer of mine. At the end, in his front garden, is pretty much the approach lights. And I was stood there once, and a Hercules came down probably about 100 feet above me. Scared the absolute bejesus out of me. As it would, of course. Let's turn the autopilot off. And bring ourselves down to land. Shame that one of the airports around here, or one of the runways around here, wasn't turned into like a regional airport. I think there's a lot of scope for something. Obviously, there's Heathrow to one end, and then you've got Bristol Airport the other end, which is a pain to get to. You can do Heathrow in about 45 minutes from Swindon, but Bristol is probably longer to get to because it's south of Bristol, and you've got Cardiff as well. So it's a shame that there wasn't, you know, one of these airports or runways around here that it was turned into an airport. Okay, in we come. And a buttery landing. Poor and late flare. Well, can't have everything, I suppose. Let's backtrack. And get ourselves off of here. Bit of a bump in the oh, so I didn't see the taxiway there because of the bump in the runway. I know it's down here somewhere because I saw it on the way in. random house placed in the middle there. And there we go. Parking brake on. Electrics off. Lights off. And there we have it. We made it from Cosford to Lyneham. Awesome little flight that was. So there we go. If you are attending the FlightSim Show in Cosford, or if you're watching this after the event, I was there. Then yeah, let me know in the comments below, or join the Discord server and let me know. It'd be great to see how many people are actually attending this year that are into this sort of flying, because I absolutely love True Earth, and although I'm enjoying jets, I'm quite happy in the little 172 pottering about the place. It is an awesome plane. It does say a bonus to arrive alive, of course. So I will leave that there. Don't forget, X-Plane content comes out from me on the channel every 2 weeks at the moment. Every other Thursday, something from X-Plane. Some of our group flights go up. Sometimes I'll be doing some solo stuff like this. Every other Tuesday, something from Train Sim. And weekly content for me is OMSI on a Monday, Tourist Bus on a Wednesday, Firm Bus on a Friday, and Trucking on a Saturday. And me live on Twitch, don't forget, every weekend. So plenty of content there. Please do hit subscribe if you want to see some of that. It'll be awesome if you did. Until the next time then, if you have been, thanks very, very much for watching.